Most people think jealousy is easy to spot. They imagine it looks like attitude, negativity, obvious dislike. Someone ignores you, talks behind your back, or throws a direct insult, and you immediately know what it is. But that kind of jealousy isn't the real problem. The most dangerous jealousy doesn't look negative at all. It hides behind politeness. It sounds calm. It even feels like interest at first. These people don't attack you. They approach you. They smile. They lean in. They ask simple, casual questions that seem completely normal. And yet, something feels off. Not enough for you to react, but just enough to make your energy drop. That's how it starts. Because those questions are not innocent. They are calculated, designed to make you pause, to make you explain, to slowly pull you out of your confidence and into self-doubt without you realizing it. One moment you're excited, proud, fully in your energy, and the next, you're second-guessing yourself over something you didn't question before. And here's what almost nobody tells you: this is a pattern. Jealous people don't improvise. They repeat the same types of questions again and again. Once you learn to recognize them, everything changes. You stop feeling confused. You start seeing the intention behind the words. So if you've ever felt your mood shift after a normal question, say one in your mind and keep listening. You finally get something you're proud of. Maybe it's something small, maybe it's something big, but it matters to you. You worked for it. You waited for it. And for a moment, you feel good. Then someone looks at it and says, "Oh, how did you afford that?" It sounds harmless, almost like curiosity. But pay attention to what didn't happen. They didn't congratulate you. They didn't say you deserved it. They didn't acknowledge your effort. They went straight to questioning your right to have it. And without even realizing it, you fall into the trap. You start explaining. It was on sale. I've been saving for a while. It's actually not that expensive. And just like that, something shifts. Your excitement drops. Your confidence softens. Your win becomes something you feel like you need to justify. That's the real problem. Jealous people don't celebrate your moment. They investigate it. They make you feel like your happiness needs permission, like your success needs a reason that makes sense to them. And the moment you start defending it, you've already lost control of the frame, because now you're not enjoying what you earned. You're trying to make them comfortable with it. So think about this. How many times have you made your own success sound smaller, just so someone else wouldn't feel uncomfortable? If that hits a little too close, say yes in your mind. Because this is exactly how it begins. Here's what's really happening beneath the surface. And this is the part most people never take the time to understand. Jealousy is not loud. It's not always aggressive. Most of the time, it shows up as quiet discomfort when someone else is moving forward. When you start improving your life, when you begin to grow, earn more, look better, think bigger, you create contrast. And that contrast forces the people around you to face something they've been avoiding: the gap between where they are and where they could be. That gap is uncomfortable. It triggers insecurity, self-doubt, even regret. But instead of confronting that feeling and growing from it, many people look for a faster, easier way to escape it. And that's where you come in. Instead of rising up, they try to pull you down. Subtly, quietly, psychologically. They don't attack your success directly. They question it. They don't challenge your decisions openly. They plant doubt around them. Small comments, casual questions, a slightly concerned tone. And before you realize it, those seeds start growing in your mind. You begin to hesitate. You second-guess things you were once certain about. You slow down, not because you failed, but because someone made you feel like you might. And that's why it's so dangerous, because it doesn't feel like jealousy. It feels like logic. It feels like caution. It feels like someone looking out for you. But it's not support. It's self-protection. They are not trying to understand your path. They are trying to protect their ego from the discomfort of watching you move forward while they stay the same. So if this is starting to click, if you're beginning to recognize these patterns in your own life, say ME in your mind. Because this isn't random. It's personal. Imagine this. You're feeling good about yourself. You're growing, improving, showing up differently. Maybe you started dressing better. Maybe you're speaking with more confidence. Maybe you're no longer accepting the same treatment you used to tolerate. And then someone looks at you and says, "You've changed. What happened to you?" Or worse, "Who do you think you are now?" It hits you instantly. That small sense of guilt. That pressure to explain. And before you even notice it, you start pulling back. You soften your voice. You hide your progress. You shrink just enough to make them comfortable again. That's how it happens in real life. Not through big conflicts, but through small moments like this. So here's the real question. If you were in that moment, what would you do? Stay quiet and go back to who you used to be? Choose. 1. Or stand your ground and keep becoming who you're meant to be. Choose 2. Because most people don't lose themselves all at once. They lose themselves in these tiny decisions, repeated over and over again. Now here's where everything flips. Because the truth is, it was never about you doing too much. It was about them not being able to handle what they see in you. When someone says, "Isn't that a bit much?" or "Why are you showing off?" it sounds like they're commenting on your behavior, but they're not. They're reacting to how your confidence makes them feel. Your growth creates pressure. Your boldness exposes their hesitation. Your happiness reminds them of what they've been avoiding in their own life. And instead of rising to meet that feeling, they try to reduce yours. That's the twist most people miss. You think you need to adjust, tone it down, be more acceptable. But the more you shrink, the more comfortable they become. And the smaller you become in the process. And if you keep doing that, you slowly teach people that your light is negotiable, that your confidence can be turned down whenever it makes someone uncomfortable. But it was never yours to reduce. You are not too loud, too proud, or too much. You are simply too much for people who are not ready to grow. So now, you have a decision. You can say yes and accept this truth that their discomfort is not your responsibility. Or, you can say no and keep adjusting yourself just to fit into spaces that were never meant for your growth. But understand this clearly. Every time you dim your light to protect someone else's ego, you move further away from who you're meant to become. So what do you actually do when you start noticing all of this? When those questions no longer feel random? When you can see the pattern clearly? First, you stop reacting the way you used to. No more over-explaining. No more defending your choices. And definitely no more shrinking just to keep the peace. Because the moment you feel the need to justify your happiness, you've already stepped into their frame. Instead, slow it down. Take a breath. And ask yourself one simple question. Are they celebrating me? Or trying to limit me? That question changes everything. It cuts through the tone, the wording, the fake concern, and reveals the intention. And once you see that, your response becomes simple. You don't argue. You don't prove. You don't seek approval. You respond briefly, confidently, and you move forward. No extra energy. No emotional drain. Because your life is not a debate, and your growth does not require validation. And here's the shift. When you stop feeding that dynamic, it loses power over you. You stay focused. You keep building. Quiet, steady, undeniable. So if you're serious about changing, don't just agree with this, act on it. Say ME in your mind. And from this moment on, start showing up like someone who no longer asks for permission to be who they're becoming.